Hi Yellow Class, me again. Hope you're all alright, having a nice day. It's weird not seeing you all, but I hope you're having fun and you're feeling alright. So this afternoon, or this morning, depending on what time you're watching this, we are going to do some geography. So last term we talked a lot about continents and oceans, and we used Google Earth and we explored the globe really. And we had the inflatable globe out, and I got my spinny globe out, and we had lots of fun learning about all of those different countries, those different continents, and the oceans as well. So this term we are carrying on with countries this time, and we're learning a little bit more about what makes each country unique. So from last term, when we were looking at oceans and continents, can you remember what a continent is made up of? Is it land or sea? So a continent is land, and the land is split up into different countries. So this time we're going to be looking at different types of food from different countries around the world. We're actually going to be doing it this week, all of our geography learning, just because of how it's all worked out. So that's worked out quite well really, because it means that it'll be fresh in our brains. So, what have we already discussed that makes different countries unique? We talked about this last term. I know it was a long time ago. See if you can think back to what made different continents and different countries unique to each other. So, we talked about languages. Different people in different countries speak different languages. We talked about different animals. So we discovered what sort of animals you'd find in America, what sort of animals you would find in Antarctica, and how they're different, and the sort of different animals that you'd find in Europe. And finally, we talked about the different flags, didn't we? So each different country has got a different flag. Like our flag is different to Scotland's flag is different to Wales's flag, and Ireland's flag, and they're all different and they're unique, they're special to each country. So like all of these things, different countries have different foods, and the different foods are made up of different ingredients. So where the climate is different, where the temperature is different, where the land is different, different countries grow and produce lots of different types of food. So they might grow different spices, they might have different meats, different vegetables, and that's the sort of thing we're going to be learning about in geography for this week. So, does anyone know a traditional dish for any of these countries? You ready? So, a dish that's traditionally from Italy. Any ideas? So you might have pasta. That's originally made from Italy. So if you ever have spaghetti bolognese for tea, or carbonara, or if you have pasta as your school dinner at lunch, that is traditionally made from Italy. What about Mexico? Any idea the sort of food you might have from Mexico? So in Mexico, you could traditionally have tacos or fajitas. Nachos are from Mexico. So like Taco Tuesday, was that a school dinner thing? I can't remember. So they would be from Mexico. What about India? Have you ever had any Indian food? What sort of things might you have? So curries are traditionally from India, or originally from India. So they've got lots of different spices, lots of different flavours, and that would be from India. And Spain. Any ideas what sort of food you might have if you were in Spain? So you might have paella, which is a rice dish if you've not had it before. And again, it's got some spices, but it's not as spicy as a curry normally. And you could have meat in it, or fish, or vegetables. You could have whatever you like. I really like paella, I think it's yummy. And finally, England. What do we have traditionally from England that other countries might not have as much? Good old fish and chips. If you've ever had fish and chips from the local chippy, or maybe you get it from home, or someone at home cooks it for you, that is something that is traditionally from England. So I'd like you to have a chat if you've got someone at home with you at the moment, or just have a think if you've ever had any of these foods before. So I know lots of you have had pasta because I've seen you eating it in your packed lunch, school dinners even, and lots of you have fish fingers on a Friday, and I've seen some of you eating curry as well. So have a think about if any of these foods you've eaten before. I also want you to think, if you have eaten them, what did they taste like? And if you haven't eaten them and there's an adult there, maybe just have a conversation about what sort of flavours you might get. So you can pause the video now. Okie doke, so your first task today then is to create a spider diagram into your book or your piece of paper, whatever you're using today, of all the different adjectives that you could use to describe different types of food. So you don't just have to describe the food that we've talked about today. You could think about any types of different foods, so maybe sweet food as well as savoury food, whatever you had for tea last night. Think about all of the adjectives, all of the describing words that we could use to describe what food tastes like. So pause the video now and you can have a go at that. Okay, so your second task for today then is to match the image of the food to the country that it traditionally comes from. So I'd like you to write the name of the country as a subheading. Make sure you underline it as well because it's a subheading. And use the pictures on the previous slides to draw a picture of the food that we have discussed underneath each subheading. So if we were going to do this in class, we would have had pictures on the table, but where I can't do that with you guys at the moment, you can rewind the video and look at some of the pictures that I put on for those foods that we discussed at the beginning. And your subheadings are Italy, Mexico, India, Spain, and England. So maybe start with the top, write Italy, your subheading, and then draw your picture underneath. Once you've drawn it, move on to India, then Mexico, then Spain, and finally England. And once you finish, you can colour them in, and you could maybe write some of those adjectives, your favourite adjectives that you did in your spider diagram, to describe what those foods taste like if you've eaten them before. Okay, good luck, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a lovely evening, look after yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Bye!